The flight manifests for 3 of the legally contested deportation flights from Texas to El Salvador apparently contain dozens of additional, unaccounted for passengers than a previously published Department of Homeland Security list of people deported from the U.S. on those flights. So, hold on here. 404 Media is reporting that, oh, yeah, I mean, we've got a list of people that was published, but you also have a second list of people that was not published on the first list that were on those flights. And guess what? We cannot find those people now. The additional people on the flight manifest have also not even been publicly acknowledged by the government in any way. So, literally disappeared. Not only that, but according to immigration experts who have been closely monitoring these mass deportations, the people are gone. They're just gone. They have no idea where they are or even what happened to them. Most of them. That is incredibly disturbing. So what they're saying is that in addition to the more than 200 people we knew that were flown to this El Salvadoran concentration camp, CCOT, okay, there is a number of people that just somehow ended up on those flights without any record of them being on those flights. Well, then how did we find out? Well, back in May, there was a hacker that had targeted GlobalX. Now, that is the airline that operated these flights and shared the media with, shared the data with 404 Media. So, all right, now, GlobalX makes me think of another Elon Musk thing, but I don't think that they are, as far as I know, anyway. But anyway, in addition to the names of people who were on the list, CBS News had published, so that's the official list, right? The GlobalX flight manifest contained the names of dozens of people who were supposedly on the flights, but whose status and existence has not been acknowledged by the U.S. government or previously reported in the press. Yikes. We have this list of people that the U.S. government has not formally acknowledged in any real way, and we pretty much have no idea if they are in CCOT or someplace else, or whether they received due process, said Michelle Brané, executive director of Together and Free. That's a group that has been working with the families of these deported people. So, yeah, I mean, it's very clear, very likely, I should say, that they probably did not receive any due process. Of course not. Now, she further says, I think this further demonstrates a callousness and a lack of due process involved, and is further evidence the U.S. government is disappearing people. These people were detained and no one knows where they are, and we don't know the circumstances for almost all of these people. There's no records whatsoever, nor no court records, nothing. So yeah, when I say they have been disappeared, this is what I mean. They have been disappeared. The only record pretty much is what was on this manifest. Now, she added the government is not disclosing it, and they presumably been sent to a prison or sent somewhere else by the U.S. government on a plane and have never been heard from since. We have not heard from these people's families, so I think perhaps even they don't know. I mean, what a horrible situation. It's just incredibly scary. If you're a member of that family, you don't know where your family member got disappeared to. All you know is that one day they were here, and the next day, you don't know. They could be in a concentration camp in El Salvador. They could be in a concentration camp in South Sudan. We don't know. They could be dead. I mean, this is horrific. Brain added that it remains entirely unclear whether all these people were even on the flights or why they were even on the manifests. If they were on those flights, it is unknown where they are. Now, Together and Free did manage to identify a few details about specific people on the manifest. So, how they ended up in these flights to begin with. Now, one person on the manifest appears to have been arrested by local police in Texas in late December on a drug possession charge. Oh no. And is listed in arrest records as being an illegal alien. Another person was arrested in Nashville in February on charges of driving without a license. For many of the other people listed, there's no easily discernible public data about who they are or why they appeared on the flight manifest. So, look, out of those two examples, right, one of them had a misdemeanor, driving without a license, and apparently gets sent on a plane to El Salvador without due process. I mean, that's just horrific. Horrific. Criminal. Human trafficking. Absolutely. Several other people are on the flight manifest and do not appear on the CBS News list, but their identities had already become public because their families had filed lawsuits or have been looking for them on social media. So, look, Kilmar Abrego Garcia, he was on the manifest, but was not in the official list that was disclosed by CBS News in the DHS. Okay, so that's an example right there. You also have Ricardo Prado Vasquez, a man whose family said he was disappeared because he did not appear on any official publicly published lists. So now, after the New York Times published an article about his disappearance, the Trump administration said that, oh yeah, no, we know where he is. He's at CCOT. 404 Media was able to find his name on the March 15th flight manifests. So we do have proof that the regime is disappearing people and then not admitting it. Wow. I mean, again, this is unconscionable what we're doing to these people. Absolutely horrific. Okay. So now the UN Human Rights Office, now they're getting involved. Okay. They sent a court petition saying that they're investigating the quote unquote involuntary disappearances of at least 4 Venezuelans who were sent to El Salvador on these flights. Neither the government of El Salvador nor the government of the United States has published official information on the list of deported persons or their current place of detention. The UN said in a report on enforced or involuntary disappearances it filed in court. There continues to be very little clarity as to the fate and whereabouts of the Venezuelans removed to El Salvador. To date, no official list of the deported detainees has been published. Provision of further information by authorities is key, including providing families and their counsel with available information on the specific situation and whereabouts of their loved ones. Now, this is according to a letter sent by Elizabeth Throssell, a spokesperson for the UN Human Rights Office. So now this also, that message was sent in an email to 404 Media. Okay. So now the UN Human Rights Office has been in contact with family members of over 100 Venezuelans believed to have been deported to El Salvador. And again, I look, it's less deportation and more human trafficking. And so, look, these people are Venezuelans and they're sent to El Salvador. That doesn't make any sense. But unless you're looking at it as, oh, we're engaged in human trafficking. So now the question here for me is, why exactly isn't the Trump administration being open about this and being transparent? I mean, they said they're going to be the most transparent administration in history, and you would think that in this case, they would want to brag to their followers, oh, look at these people. Okay, yeah, we sent this guy to CCOT. Yeah, what of it? But no, they're hiding the ball. It's weird. I mean, they campaigned on doing this, and now they're doing it. You think they'd be proud of it, right? You think they'd want to own it. Well, I mean, I guess there are good reasons for them not to. Look, for one, yes, they campaign on this, but they don't care about the people. They don't care about justice. What they wanted was just a photo op. They wanted nameless, faceless people for Kristi Noem's photo op. That's it, to use them in the background, regardless of whether or not they had actually committed crimes, of course. The only thing that mattered to them is they're Venezuelan or they're foreign. They might look Venezuelan. It doesn't matter. So we're going to send them anyway. And then, for the people, for a lot of these people, the dozens of people on the flights, on these manifests. We're not going to release their name. We're not going to release their information, probably because we know that they weren't actually criminals and they shouldn't be there, but we don't care. We just don't care. I mean, look, the only thing they wanted to get out of this was the pretty pictures of human suffering to send to their MAGA followers. That's really it. So that, their MAGA chuds can jerk off or something to these photos of human suffering and then move on to the next thing. They don't care about where these people ended up. They don't care if they're even alive. They just don't. In fact, for them, it's a bonus that they don't make it out alive. I mean, look, what they wanted to do is silence people like Kilmar Abrego Garcia. Okay, dead men tell no tales. Okay, and from Garcia's account, where he was beaten, he was tortured. You think the Trump regime wanted that getting out? No, because I think it would further, and we're seeing this, further turn regular people, normies, against this regime. Once they hear about that stuff, well, only the hardcore MAGAs are going to love this, but normal people who don't normally get involved in the political process, when they hear about these atrocities that are happening under their name, they're not happy about it. They don't want to be involved in it. Okay? And so I'm pretty sure that is the reason why the regime is, making sure that we don't know all of whom was sent. And it's also probably why they're passing the buck to the Salvadoran government, who keeps trying to pass it back. And so they're basically playing legal hot potato over these people. And in the meantime, these people are getting tortured. Some might even end up dying. And this is what the government's doing in our name. And it should make you absolutely sick. And I think most people, other than the aforementioned hardcore MAGAs, are getting sick by it. Okay? But here's the thing. It hasn't even gotten worse yet. It hasn't even hit peak depravity. Look, Trump just got his big, beautiful bill passed, which has massive funding for ICE. And so now that they are funded better than other nations' entire military forces, now that they're funded better than that, the situation is going to get even worse. They're going to build more concentration camps in the United States. Okay, it won't just be alligator Auschwitz. All right, it'll be more. And they're going to be able to disappear and torture even more people and then hide it. I mean, Brain said this. When you look at what ICE is doing now in terms of how they treat people, how they operate when they're given even a little bit of rope, it's terrifying to think what the budget increase is going to do. This is a taste of what we're going to see on a much larger scale. And she's right. She's absolutely right. I think that one day there will be studies, there will be reports, there will be exposés, which will detail exactly what happened. And the details are going to be absolutely horrific. And this is based on what we already know. The details that have already come out are horrific. Basically, we are in the darkest chapter of America that I've ever seen. And if we somehow make it out as a country, and I don't know if that'll happen. I hope we do. But in the event that we do, we will absolutely have to reckon with this now, with what our government has done in our name, and likely will continue to do before we're able to stop it. Again, we haven't even hit the worst part yet. And I'm not going to be surprised, and anyone else who is paying attention is not going to be surprised. I think the only ones who will likely be shocked and appalled later are the very ones that are cheering it on now. Mark my words. Hear me now. Quote me later. The same people saying, yeah, deport, mass deportations now, this is what we voted for, are going to be the same ones later on when the atrocities come out. are going to be like, I had no idea this was going to happen. I had no idea. Wow. Oh, I can't believe it was those other people that let it happen. Yeah. Yep. Wasn't my fault. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, subscribe, hit the bell icon in order to get notified whenever a new video is released. And if you want to support independent, progressive media through this difficult time where it seems like everybody is shutting down, you can become a member on our YouTube page, you can become a subscriber on Facebook, or you can go to my Patreon. It's patreon.com/Jeff Waldorf. Thank you.